Hello everyone, welcome to a new review. I'm just gonna jump right into it, guys. I am livid. Okay. I also apologize. I am sitting here in my closet because it is popping in my apartment complex right now at the pool. And yeah, so that makes sound a little bit more challenging. So let's get into it. I'm going to post a link down below about the story that we're going to talk about. I'm not going to go into a huge history around the story. I don't feel like I have the mental energy for that at the current moment, but you guys can take a look at the story below if you want to look into more detail. Just to summarize, there was a lady or a girl, I guess. Her name was Maddie Russo. She was, I don't know, like a social media influencer, and she basically scammed all of these people because she told them that she had cancer, and $37,000 of like donations and stuff were put into, I think, like a GoFundMe or something like that, for her. So she was caught. And she was arrested. She was bailed out of jail at like $100,000 or something like that, by some older person, I guess, that she's having relations with. Again, you'll just go check it out, okay? It's a big deal. But you know, there are a lot of people that are focusing so much here on the scam elements of it. And I just really want to talk about from a different perspective. I want to talk about the miseducation, or whatever the word is. The concept that when things like this happen, it confuses a lot of people on the truth and what's not the truth, and what to look for and what not to look for, what to believe, what not to believe. And, you know, it's very triggering for the cancer community. And we're going to talk about that. So, just as a brief, like, history, yes, I have cancer. I have stage 4, breast cancer. So if that is news to you, like, I apologize for boom, dropping the bomb. I know that I have not come out to my students yet about that. Just hoping that they haven't found my YouTube yet, but it's fine. Anyways, that will be a whole other conversation. But yes, again, if that is news to you, I apologize for dropping the bomb. So I want to talk about the education around cancer in specific. And specific things that Maddie did that can confuse people, and make them feel very skeptical about like what to believe and what not to believe. We're going to talk about supplements and different types of therapy, like in specific, and hair, okay? And let me tell you why. So a lot of people were saying for her that were like kind of skeptical of her, like, oh, how do you still have your hair and everything like that? You know, she was telling people that she was using all of these like biotin supplements. And let me tell you this, okay? No, there is not a type of amount of, there's not any miracle solution that has biotin supplements in it that has hit the market yet, let's just say, to help with hair loss. Sorry, my nose itches. That is gonna help with hair loss when you're in chemotherapy, okay? So that is one lie that I just want to throw out there. Like, it's just not possible at the current moment, right? Like, again, science is woohoo, fabulous. The second thing is, yes, there is oral chemotherapy. However, it's not necessarily always called oral chemotherapy. It is called targeted therapy. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. And no, it doesn't make you completely lose your hair. You can still be a cancer patient. Okay. And not go through, you know, those types of things. But yeah, it does give you hair loss, which is one thing that she said. However, if you look at her pictures, she does have a lot of hair, okay? But again, every cancer patient is different, and that is not necessarily something to look for, which I think is very confusing to some people. So I want to clear it up. So some of the things that we want to kind of look at and clear things up are, yes, of course, like that biotin does not help your hair growth. Okay, it's the supplements are not going to help you. Like if you're going through chemotherapy, like there are other things that could be helpful for you, right? For an example, there could be like cold capping. Which is something that I'm not like a chemotherapy specialist or anything like that, so I don't want to talk too much on it, but it is an option for people that are nervous and kind of scared of losing their hair. Again, it might not work for everybody, and I just want to put that out there. But other treatments that she said, for an example, that she was on, and she said she had like leukemia and stuff. Again, I don't know. She said she had pancreatic cancer and leukemia. I don't even know if these types of treatments are like in her wheelhouse like if she'd be a candidate. Again, like I am not a specialist. I am just someone that is dealing with stage 4 breast cancer that has spread to liver and bones, and I am not a candidate for, surgery. I'm not a candidate for radiation. I'm not a candidate for chemotherapy at the current moment because I am on what is called a targeted therapy. So yes, she said, okay, I took oral chemotherapy, right? Which people get confused. But yeah, it's typically called like targeted therapy. You take it for 3 weeks and then you have a week off. And that's kind of what cycle I'm on right now. And then mine is partnered with a like hormone therapy as well. So I was forced into like a chemically induced menopause situation. So yeah, I can see why people might be confused because there is a lot of miseducation around like the advancements of cancer medicine at the current moment. And, every cancer diagnosis like has different treatments that they go through and are candidates for certain things and not candidates for other things. And it can be pretty confusing, but I do want to say that whether somebody has their hair or not, is not something that you need to be confused about if you're like trying to see, okay, is this person legit or is this person not legit? Hair does not define that. And there are no amount of supplements that are going to help that journey of yours that I am aware of. If I am wrong, I mean, let me know. But again, I don't think it's possible. But again, when there is confusion in the community, then there might not be the person that needs the resource reaching out to the proper person to figure out which resource they need, right? So, they might be spending a bunch of money on these supplements because of her and wasting valuable money and resources that they could be using for other things, because we all know the people that have cancer have some type of like financial insecurity. Maybe not everybody, okay, that's totally a biased opinion, but there are a lot of us that have financial insecurity when we get a cancer diagnosis because we don't know what's going to happen in 3 months from now. We don't know what's going to happen in 6 months from now. A lot of the statistics are kind of behind and not up to date, because, they go based off of like 5-year survival rates and stuff. So it's very overwhelming. And a lot of people don't reach out and have questions for the doctor right in that moment, because when you get that information, it is so overwhelming that you cannot even think all the time of all the questions that you have. Like your body is just in complete shock. Like you're like, what is happening? This is wild. And you're just trying to process that. So a lot of times people end up going to YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or wherever to try to figure out, okay, who has a diagnosis like myself that I feel like I can connect with and take on a journey with somebody that's going through something similar. So for her to be putting out like misinformation and just like trying to educate people on the realities of the situation when she herself has just no idea is really not okay. But it's very triggering for people in the cancer community, especially if you can imagine, like, maybe, people were looking at her for inspiration that are going through their journey and thinking like, okay, she's doing it like this, she's doing it like that, like maybe I could do it too. Maybe, you are in a situation here where there are people out there that are desperate, right? And so It's not okay. Like, yes, it is a scam for sure, right? But it is more than just a scam. And I think a lot of people are just focusing on like, oh my God, she took people's money, right? But yes, she did. But what did she do to the cancer community? That is a question that I have not heard a lot of people talk about. Is like, how did this trigger and impact the cancer community? And I am not involved in the cancer community at this current moment. Like, I follow maybe like 2 people. Because I'm just trying to live normal, and that's the way that I'm coping. So again, you know, some things that I would say, feel a little skeptical if I were to be watching her stuff, just from what I've seen, is that, you know, she was refusing to have people attend her doctor visits with her. And again, if you live with cancer and, you know, you're doing everything by yourself, I understand that might be your way of coping, but just know that you're not alone. You don't have to be alone. But I would say that's something that, you know, even if her mom like never saw any type of like proof, her mom never went to a doctor appointment, like, you know, but then again, like, also, I mean, as a mom, why would you question your daughter about that too, you know? Another thing that I would say though is that, you know, she had a little port picture that I would say does not look accurate. Again, though, like, everybody's body heals differently. But that was one thing that I noticed right away. Like, before everything was, yeah, the port does not look like a tube hanging out of your body, okay? It looks kind of like raised. I don't have one, okay? But I know for sure that a port does not have a tube hanging out of your body. And it's not just taped there for whenever you want to take a run. So that's that. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to go so much into the nitty-gritty details, but I do want to say, like, this is very triggering to the cancer community, and it goes far beyond more than just a scam. And I don't want anybody to go and bully her. I don't want anybody to go attack her, find out where she lives, like, threaten her life. Like, don't do that. That doesn't do any good, right? That just makes the people on the other side look crazy. And I do want to just give a voice, though, to the cancer community in this situation, that, like, if you were somebody that was impacted by this and she gave you hope in any type of way, that you felt like you were mentally scammed, maybe not financially scammed, but like maybe you felt like you connected with somebody that was going through something similar and gave you hope, and now you just feel very frustrated and kind of lost a little bit of hope in that journey, or whatever you might be going through. I don't know, like, just know that you're not alone, and it's okay. However you felt in that moment when you found out, it's okay. So I apologize. I don't know even if I'm on topic or not on topic anymore. Honestly, I just need to give my 2 cents on this. So yeah,